Welcome back, students. In my previous video we discussed in detail about the layers of epidermis and the color of the skin. Now in this video we will discuss in detail about the dermis region of the skin, which is below the epidermis. Now dermis, it is the inner thick vascular region of the skin. It is 2 to 3 times thicker than the epidermis, and vascular means that blood vessels are present in this region of the skin, not in the epidermis. Epidermis is avascular, whereas dermis is vascular region of the skin, meaning blood vessels are present here. Now this dermis, it is differentiated into two regions, that is papillary region and reticular region. Papillary region, this is the outer region of the dermis, and it has loose connective tissue, and it is produced into ridges and grooves which fit very closely with the lower side of epidermis. It was also explained in the previous video that epidermis and dermis, they are fitted into each other by the system of ridges and grooves. And in this region, that is papillary region, free nerve endings and sensory corpuscles are also present. Sensory corpuscle means the corpuscles which are sensory to the external stimuli. Now this we will discuss in detail in the next video. Now next region below papillary region is the reticular region. Now this region is made up of dense connective tissue, whereas papillary region it has loose connective tissue, and reticular dense connective tissue. Now there are two types of fibers present here. These are white fibers, which are also called collagen fibers, and yellow fibers, which are also called elastin fibers. Now white fibers or collagen fibers, these are attached with the underlying muscles very firmly, and wrinkles that can be seen in the later years of life are due to the gradual stretching of these collagen or white fibers. Then these yellow fibers, which are also called elastin fibers, these are elastic in nature and they bring about the recovery of the skin after its stretching. So these two kinds of fibers are present in reticular region of the dermis. Now in dermis, as I told you, that blood vessels, they are present here in the form of network of capillaries, and nerve fibers in the form of touch corpuscles or Pacinian corpuscles are also present in the dermis region of the skin. Now subcutaneous layer, which is below the dermis region, now it is also made up of loose connective tissue, and in this layer excess of body fats are deposited, and this fat, it insulates the body against cold, heat, and also acts as shock absorbers. So these are the other two layers of the skin, dermis and the subcutaneous layer. Now in this diagram you can see clearly the dermis region of the skin, that is a thicker region where you can see these blood vessels, these nerve endings are also present. Then you can see this hair, which is also present, that we will discuss in detail in a short while. And then you can see these collagen and elastin fibers also, which are the white fibers and yellow fibers present in reticular region of the dermis. And below the dermis you can see the subcutaneous tissue which stores the excess of fat. So this is about the dermis and the subcutaneous tissue of the skin. Now we will discuss in detail about the derivatives of skin. Derivatives of skin, these are the structure which are derived from the skin, such as hair, glands and nails. We will discuss in detail about all of these now. Here these are actually epidermal in origin, and then they have this down growth into the dermis region, and these are the characteristic feature of a mammal or a man, and they develop during fetal life in the mother's womb, and shortly before the birth fetus is covered with a coat of very soft fine hair called lanugo, and this lanugo is replaced by a new growth of coarse hair after a few months of birth. So new layer, new growth of chorus hair is there, which replaces the lanugo. Now goose flesh, or you call it goosebumps also. Now what is this goose flesh? Here they are normally slanting, but they stand erect during when the one is frightened or feels excessive cold or during strong emotions. So a hormone is released inside the body called adrenaline or epinephrine, and due to this the hair they stand erect, and the skin it gives a contracted and wrinkled appearance. So that is brought about by the hormone called adrenaline or epinephrine, and the muscle which works in erecting these hair is the smooth muscle called arrector pili, and this state is called goose flesh. Now the parts of the hair. Now parts of the hair. A hair it is made up of 4 parts: shaft, root, bulb and papilla. Now in this diagram you can see very clearly the parts of the hair. Hair shaft, the first part, it is a part of the hair that projects above the surface of the skin. Now in the diagram which is given in the book, this part has been labeled wrongly, so you have to correct that labeling in your book. It is the part that projects above the surface of the skin. Then the second part is the root. Now root, it is a part of the hair which is present in the dermis and is enclosed by a hair follicle. Now how this hair follicle is present there? It is produced because of the downgrowth of epidermis in the dermis. Now as I told you that hair they grow in the epidermis, but then they downgrow into the dermis. So due to this downgrowth of epidermis into the dermis, this root gets surrounded by hair follicle. Now the wall of hair follicle, it bulges out to form one or more sebaceous or oil glands, and these oil glands they secrete oil and keep the hair soft, and there is this muscle attached which is attached or associated with each of the hair follicle called arrector pili. So this is about the root of the hair. Now next part is the bulb. Now at the base of the hair follicle, a swollen inverted cup-like structure is present which is called hair bulb, and the cells only in this part of the hair are living, and the cells above the bulb they are dead keratinized cells. Only in this part of the hair the cells are living, and growth of the hair is due to the rapid division of the cells in the root bulb, as you can see here the root bulb in this diagram. Now papilla, the fourth part of the hair is the papilla. Now in the hair bulb you can see a knot-like structure made up of blood vessels, and this structure is called papilla, and blood vessels are present here, and the rapidly growing hair, these are nourished by this blood which flows in the blood capillaries or blood vessels which is present in the hair bulb region. So this is about the 4 parts of the hair. Now next, the color of the hair. It is again due to the pigment melanin present in the hair. Now sometimes the hair they turn grey or silvery. That is due to the minute spaces which are formed in the hair when the pigment is lost. So when melanin is lost, these minute spaces are formed in the hair which give this grey or silvery color to the hair. Next, it is the glands. Now all the glands present in the human skin, they originate from the epidermis. Like here also they originated in epidermis, but they are present in dermis region. Similarly, glands they also originate from epidermis but are present in dermis region of the skin. Now basically there are 2 types of glands only: sweat or sudoriferous glands and oil or sebaceous glands. But we will discuss other glands also, which are only the modified form of these two basic glands. So first it is the sweat or sudoriferous glands. Now these are highly coiled glands and present in the deeper layers of dermis and even in the subcutaneous tissue also. And these sweat glands, they open on the surface of the epidermis through a long duct as small sweat pores. And the sweat, it is produced under hot conditions and it passes out through these sweat pores onto the surface of the skin. And each sweat gland is surrounded by a network of capillaries. Now the sweat which is produced out of these sweat glands is made up of water, mineral salts, mainly this sodium chloride, and small amount of urea. Now the composition of sweat, you can see here, it is made up of 99% water, mineral salts, which is mostly sodium chloride, it is 0.2 to 0.5%, and urea, it is 0.08%. So in this way, sweat also helps in excreting this waste product out of the body and helps in regulating the body temperature also. How? Because evaporation of sweat from the skin causes cooling effect. So it helps in regulation of body temperature also. Next it is oil or sebaceous glands. Now these oil or sebaceous glands, these are lobulated glands and they are made up of many sacs that open into the hair follicle by a common duct. Now as I told you that these hair follicles, they bulge out in the form of oil glands, and these glands made up of many sacs that open into the hair follicle by a common duct. And these oil glands, they secrete an oily secretion called sebum, and this sebum, it lubricates the hair, makes it oily and waterproof, and also prevents the skin from drying. So you have to keep all these points in mind. So next, three glands like the mammary glands, meibomian glands, and ceruminous glands, these are the modified form of these two basic glands called sweat glands and oil glands. So now we will discuss about the mammary glands or milk glands. Now these are modified sweat glands and these are functional in females after the birth of young one and remain so till the child continues to take the feed from the mother. And these are non-functional or vestigial in case of males. Now these mammary glands, they are made up of alveoli that open as small pores and secrete milk out of them. And this milk, it nourishes the young ones and is a complete food for the child. Now next it is meibomian glands. Now these meibomian glands, these are modified sebaceous glands and they open at the margins of the eyelids in the hair follicles of eyelashes. So you can find these eyelashes at the margins of the eyelids, and these meibomian glands, they open into these margins and they secrete an oily secretion that keeps the eyelashes oily, soft, flexible and frictionless. So this is a function of meibomian glands. So next it is ceruminous glands. Now these ceruminous glands, these are modified sweat glands and these are found in the hinder parts of external auditory canal called ear canal. So external ear canal, it has these ceruminous glands in them and they secrete a wax-like secretion called cerumen or ear wax, which keeps the eardrum lubricated and also protects it. So these are the 5 types of glands that we discussed: sweat or sudoriferous glands, then sebaceous or oil glands, and other 3 glands. These are mammary glands, meibomian glands and ceruminous glands, which are the modified form of these oil or sweat glands. Then next it is the nails. Now the nails, these are formed by the epidermis present at the tips of all fingers and toes. These nails, they are very hard and slightly arched plates, and each nail consists of 2 keratin plates. Keratin gives that hardness to the part. So two keratin plates are there, upper large unguis and lower very small subunguis. And below the unguis upper large portion, the dermis, it is richly supplied with blood that gives this pink color to the nail, and it is known as nail bed. So now in this diagram, which is also there in your book, you can see this unguis region which is slightly blurred here. So you can see this unguis region, upper large arched plate, and below it a very small subunguis region is present, and below the unguis there is this nail bed present which is richly supplied with blood capillaries, and due to this the nail gives the pink color. Now at the base of the nail root is present which is formed by the invagination of epidermis. So when epidermis it invaginates, then nail root is produced there, and it provides keratin for the growth of the nail. So you can study all these points from the video. You can take screenshot also when you find the slide which you find useful, and you can make notes of all these things that were explained today. And in my next video we will discuss about the functions of the skin and how the skin is responsible for regulating the body temperature, that is vasodilation and vasoconstriction, the function of the skin. Thank you.